why do you think we are here, Brother Mansur? I mean, I will give my view as well, but why do you think you are here?
SubhanAllah, it's an excellent question. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Those of you who are new to Speaker's Corner videos, you will be surprised to see that Speaker's Corner has become an international venue, a platform through which you will hear about things that you did not come across before. You may have been to your colleges and universities and institutions learning about Islam and contemporary reality in the contemporary modern world. You may have learned about politics. You may have learned about interactions people have between different faiths and faith communities and believing communities. But what you will see from Speaker's Corner is where they come together. Faith communities come together and they engage with each other in this beautiful interaction, besides the heckling that goes on. But nevertheless, an interaction that is free, unconstrained, and on the spot. So you are not coming up with a script, you're reading about it. Like what you are accustomed to when you visit your masajids or your organizations where the talks are taking place. Usually there is a pre-scripted talk that is delivered to you. But here the difference is impromptu. There's something that is delivered on the spot, and you will see the difference that it makes. Because you don't know what people have in their minds when it comes to questions about Islam, Muslims, about Allah, about Quran, about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in general. It could be anything. So this is an opportunity for you to be engaging with the real scene that happens live, to see how people perceive about Islam, how people perceive what is the religion of Islam and its teachings. So yes, what we do here in Speaker's Corner are twofolds. One is to present Islam, the pristine, the pure, the clear Islam, to people, so that those people who have been misled and misinformed, either by the ignorance from themselves, not reading and researching, or being misled by the media, the social media, misled by their leaders and their communities and their countries. So we will dispel this misinformation by providing the accurate Islam from the Islamic sources, from what we believe as Muslims, what we believe as what Islam is, so that people can understand Islam from the mouth of Muslims and decide for themselves whether Islam is for them or not. Number two, the most important thing that you will see that we are engaged with is clarifying, debunking, refuting the shubuhat, the doubts, the criticisms, the lies, the distortions, the misinformation people have about Islam, about our Prophet ﷺ, about the Quran. You will not find these contents ordinarily in books, in lectures. These are not something that is presented to you, but somehow, unfortunately, you have been bombarded with this information. You open up your phone, your smartphones, your iPads, your tablets, your PC, whatever it might be, and then you're bombarded with this misinformation and criticisms, and you think, really? Is this true that Islam says this, X, Y, and Z? And you may be thinking, have I been misinformed by my Muslim leaders, my imams, my communities, my elders? You may have certain doubts, because these doubts are presented in a very sugar-coated way. You think they are quite rational. You think they are very nice, logical. You think they make sense. Because why? Because they have been spreading from academics, pseudo-academics, missionaries and other people who are antagonistic to Islam, anti-Islam. So they are presenting this misinformation, doubts and criticism, which have been researched by them to see how effectively they can deliver this to make our Muslim youth doubt their faith. Not the elders, not the knowledgeable ones, not the people who have knowledge about Islam, but those youngsters, the Muslims, who are in, say, Western European countries. They have not been trained in a madrasa, in a maktab, in an institutions of learning where Islam is presented to them. So they become easily misguided or misinformed, or thinking that it may be true. So this, or these two roles, are what we try to focus mainly in Speaker's Corner. And alhamdulillah, as Sheikh Adnan just mentioned to you, Speaker's Corner is reaching far and wide, and we want to keep this momentum going. We want you to engage with our videos, comment on them, and criticize us if you feel that we are not doing it right. Because why is it that you and I have come here and Speaker's Corner to deliver this message and to convey this message to you? Because partly our scholars and students of knowledge have not been doing so. We want to encourage our scholars to come out and engage with our youth with the questions that you see here, the questions that you encounter in social media. Because only through the empowerment of our youth, of our shabab, Islam will continue to rise and dispel the myth people have of Islam, bring back the izzah of the Muslims in this world, so that people hear and continue to hear about Islam and the message of Islam, so that they have no hujjah in the day of judgment. They have no evidence in the day of judgment saying, I did not know this before. Oh, my friends didn't tell me. My colleagues didn't tell me. I had no information in the social media that I was constantly every day reading about it. So when our Muslim youth have been empowered and they take on board this duty and responsibility by learning about Islam and passing on to others, they are becoming the ambassadors of Islam. After Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are all ambassadors of Islam, conveying the message of Islam to people so that people can make a decision for themselves. So these are primarily the main two goals that we focus on in Speaker's Corner, so that we can benefit and you can benefit to yourselves.
Absolutely, I agree with Sheikh Mansur, everything he has said. Coming to the park is necessary for us for a number of reasons, more so today than before. Why? Islamophobia is a reality. It is not hidden anymore. It is open. It is peddled by highly influential people. It is funded by governments. Let me repeat that. Islamophobia is systematically funded by governments. There are governments who are putting money into peddling hate against Islam and Muslims globally. On international media, you will see journalists doing it, you will see politicians doing it, you will see pseudo scholars doing it, in some cases qualified scholars doing it, because they're getting money. So what do we need now as a response to Islamophobia? More activism, more people coming forward. And one of the reasons we come to the park is to raise our voice, let the world hear what we feel about Islam. What do the Muslims think of Islam? How do we see Islam? Do we love Islam, or do we feel ashamed of Islam? This is why we come to the park, to tell the world that we are proud of Islam. We are happy to be Muslims, and we stand by every single principle of this faith. Whatever God has revealed in the Quran and whatever our Prophet taught us, we stand by it. We are proud of it. We are not ashamed of it. This is a civilization of 2 billion people. Islam is a living civilization from Morocco to Bangladesh. You cannot tell 2 billion people that we hate you, or you cannot peddle hate against them and not expect a response. So Islam, we are told by our scholars, in fact I was with one of our scholars a couple of days ago, he said Muslims, or Islam for that matter, cannot lose any intellectual battle. That's impossible. If we are well versed in our faith, if we study our history, if we study our values, if we study our religion, it is impossible for a Muslim to lose in an intellectual discussion, whether it is with Christians, atheists, or outright, Islam haters. We cannot lose an intellectual battle, and that leads to the battle of hearts and minds. So we are here simply, to complement what Sheikh Mansur said. We come to the park despite all the difficulties in the park. Since the cameras have come to the park, the social media boom in the last 3-4 years, a lot of people, a lot of flies I would call them, have started coming to the park because they have nothing positive to contribute. They simply come here to either get famous or just show the ugly reality of their own personalities. A lot of people they shouldn't come here because they have nothing positive to contribute. We are here for positivity. We're not here to spread hate. You will not see a responsible Muslim speaker in the park spreading hate against Christians. You will not see one of us saying that Christians are bad people, they are evil people, they need to be, boycotted or tarnished wherever they are. We don't say that. We don't believe that. Rather, one of the reasons we are here is to bridge gaps between communities so that we can have more understanding. And that can only happen with decent people. So we are here to educate people. We are here for da'wah, number one. Number one, we are here for da'wah. Da'wah means inviting people to Islam, to come to our house and see what Islam is like. Most people who spread hatred against Islam and Muslims, I'm not saying all, most, they have never interacted with Muslims. They have never spent time with Muslims. They have never been to Muslim countries. And when you see these vloggers from the US, from Canada, from Australia, from Britain, these food vloggers or tourism vloggers, they're making videos in the Muslim lands and they get shocked. Is this how Muslim lands are? Is this how friendly Muslims are? Is this hospitable these people are? So this is why we are inviting people living in the Western world. Don't listen to your politicians. They are in it for money and power. Don't listen to your journalists. They are in it for money, for petty gains. Listen to the Muslims, go to their lands, travel and see how they live. See how they are as a people, as a civilization. And a lot of your misconceptions and a lot of your grievances will be dealt with once you interact with the people. So, to cut the long story short, we come to the park to dispel Islamophobia, to do away with misconceptions, to answer people's questions, and we will engage with anyone decent. For haters, for hecklers, for time wasters, for fame-hungry idiots, to use the right term, I can't think of any other word, okay? To be polite, right? We have no time for them. We have no time for them. We will engage with decent people, we'll answer their questions, we'll talk to them, and this is why we are here. Everyone knows in the world we are in the park every Sunday. So no one has an excuse to say, oh, these people don't answer questions. Do they have an excuse? We are here every Sunday. We can be found. Come and speak with us. As long as your language is decent and you speak respectfully, we will engage with you respectfully. And if you're not respectful, we will simply disassociate. We'll walk away. Absolutely. Right? Our purpose is education, and our purpose is to bring harmony between communities, promote understanding between communities, so that the Muslims, Jews, Christians, atheists, they can all live together as one family, albeit having different views, right? But at least understand each other and appreciate each other more. We learn from each other. We all learn from each other. We have a view that Islam is the best way to live a life. We believe that. Islam is the best way to live a life, and we explain why that is the case. If people don't agree, no problem with that. We have no problem with them. So the purpose is education. And despite the fact that there are so many problems there, we still continue to come. We are adamant, because just like this brother came from Qatar and he said, we watch the videos and we are learning. There are people who come from Singapore, from Malaysia, from Indonesia. I met someone in Africa from Dubai, an Arab brother from Dubai. He was shocked to see me there, and he told me that he watches our videos. So sometimes you get blown away by these compliments and these feedbacks, and this is why we are here. So people are youngsters from Morocco to Bangladesh, and believe you me, they are watching our videos from Morocco to Bangladesh. We are here to tell them that have confidence in Islam, get empowered, be empowered, learn about your faith, learn about these arguments, learn about how to defend your faith, so that you can make this world a better place by educating people about your faith. Educate. Education is the key. Education is the solution. Education is the greatest weapon against Islamophobia. The more you educate people, the more people will understand us and understand our faith, and the more they will go away from their propagandists.
As well in the European countries.
So just
Islamophobia is supported by the government.
Yes, I said that. I already said that. That it is supported by governments. I will repeat. Islamophobia, hatred against Islam and Muslims, is systematically funded by the governments. Funded.
So please do not bring it.
Yeah, please.
Saving the world.
Okay, please don't save the world here.
Saving the world.
Yeah, but we don't agree with that here.
Not at our expense.
You are not telling
Not
the
at
truth.
our expense.
They didn't know, Mehdi.
So as you can see,
They didn't know that you
some people take the opportunity for free advertisement. Just coming here at the back, I have no idea what this is about, but earlier I saw something, about this. We request you, we request you to go on the side if you don't mind, because we're not here to endorse what you're saying. Those of you who are watching, I have no idea what this is saying. We're not endorsing this at all. So ignore, you can blur yourself what this message is saying.
You don't tell the truth. World will end in 1 second.
Okay, uncle, are you here to save the world?
I'm here to save the world.
Can you not do it at our expense?
Because you
There are
need
ways.
lesson.
There are different ways
You
to save the
don't
world.
have knowledge. I have to teach you lesson.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we're not interested. Thank you very much.
Allah meets me in
So-
disguise every day. Only
Now,
I can talk to Allah.
this uncle is saying that Allah meets with him every.
And I have photo as well.
Okay.
I have photo as well.
Okay.
Allah said.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. Despite these difficulties, we persist that we come to the park. Despite these difficulties or these kind of challenges, we don't give up. We meet individuals respectfully, individuals like this. Every Sunday we come here, but we still continue with our work. We will continue with our work so long as we live. We will not stop this work so long as we live. So you can see the challenges we're facing every single week.
Let us give a message to our youth.
Tell truth.
You will come across
Lies about
a lot of
written in Torah and Bible
misinformation
lies.
propagated by individuals that you necessarily not agree, right? But how do you filter? This is an important question for you to resolve. How do you filter so much information that is all around to know and determine which is true and correct and which is false blatantly? So what we would like you to do is be people of what? Critical thinking. If you start analyzing things critically, learn how critical analysis is done. When you study, you will realize in your research there is a methodology to follow. You have to eliminate the bias in your research, because bias is something that we are all engulfed in. We are all biased. This is a fact. As a Muslim, I am biased to Islam. I am not going to sugarcoat Islam and say X, Y, and Z, which is not true. So I am already biased. Everyone else is biased. Those who are non-Muslims, Jews, Christians, atheists, crazy people, terrorists, whatever they are, they're all biased in their views. How do you minimize this bias? Is by critically examining what you want to learn. So even if you are searching information about Islam, where would you go in the internet? Are you going to type in Google and the first page that comes up, you think this is going to give you true information about Islam? Do you think Google search is the epitome of research methodology? Try to understand that Google is only a search engine. It will bring filth as well as gems.
Absolutely.
What you need to do is find out the sources where it is appropriate for the information to be located. If you want to know about the definitions of pedophilia, for example, that you will hear a lot of anti-Islam bigots always talk about. If you ask them for a definition of pedophilia, they won't be able to provide one. Do you know why? Because they have not bothered to search the definition in the proper sources. Pedophilia has definitions from sociology, from biology, and from the legal field. Did you know that? Pedophilia is defined legally, socially, politically, biologically. And yet, you hear people are saying, oh, X, Y, and Z was a pedophile. And you think their criticism is true. Notwithstanding, questioning the very fact that, what are you talking about? Does pedophilia mean eating too much chocolate? Is that the definition? So what is it? So any information that you want to verify, you want to learn, you have to go to the appropriate sources. Say someone says, oh, Islam goes against the scientific reality of today. It has something from science that it contradicts. Did you go to the science and the scientific sources to understand what science have to say about this? Did you go into the Quran or the Hadith or the tafsir of our literature in which this is discussed? Or did you just plainly talk about what people have given you on the surface? So my dear brothers and sisters, my dear youth, understand that there is a research methodology which needs to be applied in your learning with critical analysis. And once you do that, you can filter. You can filter what is untrue, what is misleading, what is hidden as true, but in reality is not true. You can filter all of this. Once you do that, then it will open up to you an avenue of knowledge that you'll realize that you can tread on and learn more and more easily, without any confusion, without any misleading of your own self. Because at present you may be thinking, I'm confused with all this information around. Where do I learn? Do I learn from my teachers who tells me that there is no God? Everything came by chance. Or am I going to critically examine this question? Once you know where to search for information and how to do that, you will see that your task of knowing and learning about Islam and answering criticism about Islam becomes much and much easier. And then you will take on what we have been asking you to do, to take the lead, take one step forward from us, and you take this responsibility of da'wah and apologetics forward on your shoulders.
Inshallah.
If we have inspired you in some way or another over the years in Speaker's Corner, then we think, yes, at least we have done something.
Absolutely.
If that is it, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. If you think we haven't done enough to inspire you, what is stopping you to take the responsibility yourself, because ultimately da'wah is fard kifaya. It is a collective responsibility. If someone is not doing it, if you are able to, you need to carry on doing it.
And currently we don't have enough. Currently, globally, we do not have enough people doing da'wah. So people who are watching right now, you must understand that you must play your part. You must come forward and contribute by making a YouTube channel, by talking to your family, your friends, get active on social media, use social media for something positive, right? Stop browsing, stop watching TikTok videos, stop wasting your time on Snapchat and all that. Start making positive videos to make this world a better place. If people are spreading hate, start spreading love. If someone is trying to spread darkness in the world, then be that beacon of light. And it's very simple. Is Mansur made of iron? Is he a superhero? Is he a Superman? Is he like, did he come from the heavens? He was born here in this world. He's a human. One day he woke up and he realized that he wants to do dawah, and he did dawah, and here we are 25 years later, alhamdulillah, it still continues. Some of you just need to make the first step. Just come forward and start talking about Islam, and make sure you talk about having learnt about Islam. Know the basics before you talk. Know the basics and then keep learning. When questions come to you, no one is perfect. No one is a scholar at birth. So we learn as we go. We learn as we go. People ask questions, you learn. You go and find answers from the right sources. You go and give answers. And that way you will see your knowledge has grown. Your knowledge has grown so much that in a year or 2 or 3, you will see that you can effectively defend Islam and even preach Islam, to take Islam to others. It is a duty upon us, the Muslims, to tell the world about Islam, how beautiful a faith it is, by our actions and by our teachings. Okay, it starts with the family and then it goes everywhere. We have to be a positive force in the world. We have to be seen as a solution, not as a problem. I think we'll stop here.
We'll stop here, but I want to make an important message. The background image that you see has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, disclaimer.
Disclaimer. This individual has come.
With Allah.
This individual has come here
with social
to have.
security.
Yeah, so we don't endorse whatever is behind us. We don't endorse it.
Just ignore what's there.
Yeah.
أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Sending video. I am with Allah.
That's not nice.
You are with
Not good
social-
manners.
you are with
Not good
social
manners.
security.
Not good
Allah
manners.
teach me every day.
Why do you want people to
said-
listen to you when you
Allah
don't have good
said
manners?
We have a plan for you.
They are not
Allah have given me permission to rule the world.